Good morning. It's April 20th, 2022. It's a Wednesday. And today we're looking at another Mike Lambo solitaire wargame game book. And it is Beaches for the Brave. Now, let me say already, let me say this is his fifth game book. So just go to Amazon, check out the game books. This is fifth. In a very short time. I believe it's his fifth. There might be another one by now. I don't know. But a very short time and a very prolific design author, if you will. So let's look at it over here. Beaches for the Brave is a dice placement solitaire war game which loosely represents the beach landings by Allied forces during World War II. Each landing is designed to be small scale and represents perhaps one or two boats landing on specific beaches. The various landings represented try to reflect some of the actual situations and events as they happen. But this is meant to be an accessible game which is quick and easy to play. And so it is not a complex simulation. That's cool with me. Players will still be challenged by the conditions and the enemies, so expect a tough time out there. Now, most people know that I've said, most people, if you've watched this channel, know that I've said things like I'm not the World War II isn't my preferred area to game, although I've played a lot of World War II games, obviously. But I've always said, hey, I've always liked ancients, medieval, Vietnam. But now this beach landings, I've always found World War II beach landings. I've always found interesting, whether they were the landings in on D-Day, which is obviously a great thing. Oh, it was obviously a big thing, historical thing. All that happened up in Normandy. Or the marine landings in the South Pacific, right? Great, another great thing for those. Those landings are pretty cool and pretty deadly themselves. Some of them. So we're gonna flip through here. I haven't read the rules. This is a dice placement game. See, this is all Mike Lambo's games. Books by Mike Lambo. Game books by Mike Lambo. The Fields of Normandy. That's the first one. That was good. Battles of Normandy. Goes to the Jungle. I'm still playing that. That's just very fun. I'm just still taking it with me and playing it where I can. Battles of Medieval Britain. I have yet to play that. We've looked at it here, but I still need to play that. And Beaches for the Brave, a solitaire war. And that's this one. Be honest with you, I'm probably going to play Beaches for the Brave tonight just because it's okay. So in the table of contents and we got Utah. You see, most of them taking place on D-Day, June 6, 1944. Although Iwo Jima, February of 45, Juno. No, that's Juno. That's. I'm sorry, Juno Beach is definitely D-Day. Tarawa, Red Beach 2, November of 43. Tarawa, one of my favorite things to look at and read about in World War II history. D-Day at Tarawa I've got that game. That's a difficult solitaire game, to say the least. And Gavutu Inlet in August 7th of August 1942. And there's another Tarawa, which pretty cool. Gold Beach, which I've always been interested in on the D-Day landings, right? Yeah, and I've played it. I'll tell you, when I hear a D-Day solitaire dice placement game, man, that sounds right. I love the D-Day dice. I just still do. I still play it from time to time. I think it's a interesting game. So I think it's a pretty good idea to do it, right? Game phase overview. Phase 0, Allied air support phase. All right. It's going to say, so what's that? Some beaches have an Allied air support phase, which occurs once per game. Okay. So you got air support once. That's it. Then you've got phase 1. That's phase 0. All right. Phase 1, Allied forces phase. The player throws a number of dice equal to the number of Allied units remaining. At the beginning of the game, this will be 6 dice. Okay. So you're going to have 6 dice, so 6 units. But that number will almost certainly reduce as the game proceeds. The player then uses those dice results to move their Allied units and conduct other operations depending on the particular beach being played. Cool. Okay, so it does kind of sound a little bit like D-Day dice. I'm fine with that. An enemy fire phase and destroying enemy positions. That's going to be in the enemy fire phase. All right. And then that's the Allied phase in detail. Cool. Let's look at a map. I think let's look at Utah Beach here. Okay, cool. So we have some some terrain effects, maybe. I didn't see a terrain effects thing. I do say hardcore mode here. If you find any beach too easy or simply want a tougher challenge, then apply the following rule. I love that. All right, here we got Beach 2. This is Utah as well. All right. Beach 3 gold. I've just always loved anything to do with Gold Beach. I guess it's just I don't know. I don't know why that is, other than Golden Sword. Those are the two that I've always enjoyed. Iwo Jima. Okay, it's a Pacific. Pacific map looks a little bit different. You've got more terrain, looks like. Okay. Huh. Okay, back to Juneau. Oh, all right. Tarawa. Okay, Tarawa map looks different from the. Okay, never mind. We'll talk about that later. Tarawa with naval fire support, U.S. Marines. Yeah, Semper Fi. The U.S. Marines was an interesting lot. At the beginning of World War II, they weren't the force that we would think them being now, as our Marines are now. But they had. But World War II, they were certainly baptized in fire, and they certainly, I've brought that up many times. NCOs were, held pistols to make sure that people was going forward. But they definitely and definitely the Marines back then were really people that been recruited from the inner cities and stuff, and became a cohesive force. And then later, in Korea, of course, so much of the history of the Marines, so much of the Marine lore is dated back to the South Pacific. And then you go to Sword Beach, another thing I love. The tank looks like. Then you go to say Korea, and man, you talk about those Marines. A lot of those. Whereas the new generation Marines, still a lot of them were from the inner city and so on, but they were younger brothers and so on of the Marines in World War II, and it was their time to go. And man, you want to talk about, especially the Marine reservists that proved their mettle at Trojan Reservoir. I'm gonna quit talking about Marine history, and we'll just keep looking at this. Sorry, Omaha Beach. All right. Gavutu Inlet. Islet. Near Water Canal, another great thing. All right. Green Beach. Wow. Okay, man. Another Tarawa. Okay. So that's it. That's a flip through. That should be enough. I'm going to get to that soon. Thank you, Mike Lambo, once again, sir. And thank you for listening to me ramble. Sorry about going off on a tangent with Marines. But we'll do the 101st and 82nd Airborne sometime. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Y'all be careful out there. Stay safe. Be good. Talk to you soon. Beaches for the brave. Bye-bye, y'all.